There has been so much fucking fraud going on, apparently, in Minnesota. The amount of fraud that happened is in the billions of dollars. And not only did the fraud happen, but the fraud was then reappropriated and sent over to Somalia. That's in Africa, by the way. It's on like the right side of Africa. And it was given to like a terrorist group. At least some of it was. Billions of dollars.
Ilhan Omar, Tim Walz, Attorney General Keith Ellison. We see a web of connections between them and those directly involved in the fraud. For example, Ilhan Omar alleged enabling introducing the 2020 Meals Act, which was ultimately subject to fraud.
This was another scam, a massive scam, by the way.
Campaign victory party at the Safari restaurant. That's where one of the men who run that restaurant has associations to the convicted individuals. And then there's Tim Walz, House Oversight Investigation role in his role as governor. Or Keith Ellison, the Attorney General. His job is to enforce the law in Minnesota, but instead he's getting donations after meeting with the feeding.
See, what we need to do, here's what we need to do. We need to go in, federal investigate all of these people. If any of these people were complicit or aware of funds being reappropriated to Somalia, we need to charge them for treason. Because they are aiding and abetting a foreign country as being a representative of the United States. That's what we do. We charge them for treason. It'll never happen. I know, guys. I know it's never going to happen.
Future representatives.
I'm fully fucking aware of that.
Yet, part of this entire
everybody
fraud,
knows.
Theft ring. Ilhan Omar.
Yeah, it's fraud, it's theft, it's whatever you want to call it. So here's
it's interesting. He's made quite a few maneuvers that are questionable.
I think, like Trump, whenever Trump said he was retarded, I didn't understand how retarded he was. I knew he was retarded, but this is really impressive.
It's interesting. He's made quite a few maneuvers that are questionable, I would say, over these last years. Now reporting, appointing, I should say,
an elite
fraud
retard.
czar, but he closed at the statewide level an office that investigated fraud for many years. There are questions about that. This has only renewed the call for Governor Tim Walz to resign. He is currently running for a third term as governor, but this has really ramped up under his watch the last 7 years, all of this fraud exploding onto the national scene. I think it's 5 or 6 federal investigations that have now been.
Can you imagine this? This retard was almost vice president. That's
announced
scary.
In Minnesota from SNAP or welfare fraud. The state doesn't want to give that over. Our voter rolls, Minnesota doesn't want to hand that over to the feds.
Why are they not handing over the information? Well, the reason why is because it's a scam. That's the reason why. Everybody knows it. Why else would they not hand over information? Duh, of course.
Illegal immigrants having commercial driver's licenses here. In fact, President Trump saying that Walz has turned Minnesota into a fraudulent hub of money laundering activity. Those are the president's words.
Well, I don't know really how true that is, but it seems like it's true for sure.
Prosecutor says half of Medicaid's $18 billion claims paid to Minnesota programs could be fraudulent. Prosecutors charged
Half of it is fraudulent.
Prosecutor says half of Medicaid's $18 billion claims paid to Minnesota programs could be fraudulent. Prosecutors charged 5
What are these retards
in a Minnesota
doing?
housing fraud scheme today. First Assistant U.S. Attorney Joe Thompson claims 2 defendants pocketed $750,000 to travel to international destinations.
Bullshit. Get the fuck out of here. There's $9 billion on the line, and you can only account for 1.5 million of it? Are you fucking retarded?
Instead of helping Medicaid recipients find stable housing.
It's embarrassing.
Says
absolutely embarrassing. Never attribute to incompetence, which can be attributed to malice. So it's the other way around usually, but I think this is a little bit of both.
This is one of, I don't want to say the number, it's countless numbers. Every night I get an update on this of the threats to our federal money on everything we do. Because look, right now it's very clear. The entire federal government is weaponized against Minnesota.
Good.
And the issues of things that should be states' rights, states to control. They're threatening us with this. And this is what happens when you have a floundering
It's the states' right in order to reallocate money to Somalia and fraudsters that are from Somalia. Yeah, definitely.
Presidency, and it is about those ballrooms and everything else. Now we're back on transgender folks, and these are healthcare providers providing the best guidance to parents and children to get their care.
No, they're not. They are. There's this idea that doctors are somehow this infallible resource that can never be corrupted, changed, perverted, biased, or anything else. It's just a delusional appeal to authority that only a retard like Tim Walz would think to use.
So we're assessing what it means. It's on every front. It's CDLs. It's transportation money.
Go swallow some horse jizz, you bald retard.
Money across the board that they have weaponized.
Yeah.
So this is one of.
Yeah, there it is. And is that retard Walz? Yeah, exactly. And so he's going out, and then Tim Walz is panicking. Now the FBI has raided a Somali, quote, health services building after billions of Medicare fraud was exposed. Wow. He's trying to bring up healthcare decisions for kids, trans kids. Jesus Christ. Is Somalia banned for immigration? I don't know. I have no idea. And this problem with it being a collective Somalia thing is completely forced by these left-wing people that reframe the criticism for the fraud into racism against Somalians in the first place. If you had just been able to hold the people inside of these positions accountable individually, rather than make this group defense of, oh, you're just racist and hate Somalians, this would have never happened. The reason why it happened is because you wanted to talk about how, oh, they're not going after these people because they're or because they're, scammers. They're doing it because they're Somalians. This would have never happened. Yeah, they're using Somalians that are not problematic as effectively a shield for their bad behavior. That's what's happening. I feel bad for them because they really don't deserve this. Racism card? Yeah, it's ridiculous. Clan behavior? It seems that way. Weaponized infamy? If the government's only going after Somalians, it looks sus. Well, what happens if there's a group of people? Like, it's very clear to me that the Somalians in Minnesota act and behave as a collective group. They're advocating for things for Somalians. They are trying to bring in African tribal conflicts into America and have it relate to voting for different offices in Minnesota. They have constantly been talking about, like, every single comment that I see these people make are about voting for other people based off of racial identity. I see this constantly. This isn't me saying this. This is them saying this. So, yeah, if you're doing this and you're constantly trying to, decide racially as a block that everybody should be voting or doing this thing, then, yeah, you're going to have people that are going to look at it and say, wow, look at this group of people. This sure seems like a problem. And also, I'm sure there's plenty of white people and Mexicans, Asians, blacks that are involved in this too. It's not about being Somalian or African American, I guess, in this case, as a distinction. But, it's not about your skin color or your ethnicity. It's about scamming the fucking government. That's what it's about, obviously. Same with any groupthink collective. Yeah, exactly. What are you, African American in this case? Well, I think African American is a unique identity group that is intrinsic to America as an outcome of slavery. Like, I do think that is a unique identity group that should be, separated from just an African that comes to America. Like, African American as a term, as like a capital proper noun, this is something that is a unique shared identity. Like, for example, like if you're from Zimbabwe or you're from, I don't know, like Sudan or Somalia or Morocco, like did you guys know that everybody in Africa doesn't just get along because they're all black? I've been hearing about this. I've been hearing about these wars they've been having over there for like, I don't know, ever. So it's not like they all get along over there. No, they find ways to differentiate each other over there, too. The same as, you know, like white people have done that with Poles and Irish. Like, it's not, this isn't special. It's not unique or different. It's just happening everywhere. Never heard of it. Yes, exactly. It's biblical. Yeah, of course. Anyway, let me see if I can find the other ones, okay? So, where is it? Minnesota fraud. Yeah, this is the new one. Okay. Here we go. Let me see if I can just pull this one up. I'll see if there's anything else. Okay. Yeah, it should be good.
And joining us now with some new information is someone who has been covering this story since the beginning. It's Alpha News journalist Liz Collin. Liz, thanks for being with us. You've been all over this story. What's the latest out of Minnesota?
Yeah, we heard some pretty shocking numbers today, Will, at that press conference, talking about $18 billion paid out through these 14 programs that First Assistant U.S. Attorney Joe Thompson focused on. And he said, in his own words today, more than half of that money seems to be fraudulent. And the reporter asked as much as $10 billion, and he quickly said absolutely. So he detailed just this explosive growth of these programs, focusing on just a few in these last few years. But I'll say that we've been checking out.
It was half of 18, and 10, half of 18. Okay, so whenever you say half, you mean more than half.
A lot of this for ourselves through many tips from our readers and viewers. And just this week, we visited a dozen sites, and to be honest, they all seem...
Morocco isn't a black country. You're right that I was wrong. It's the same as Egypt. It's a slightly different ethnicity. That you're right about that.
Fraudulent. Empty adult daycares, empty autism clinics, no kids in sight, strange Google reviews that seem almost written in AI, would even look to be phony websites. And you can see right there for yourself online through a database how much money they're receiving. It's often hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars if you go ahead and total it up for the last few years. And there you see it, some nice luxury cars right in the parking lot of some of these businesses. We heard more about
Where
that
did they
today
come
as
from?
well. Where's all this money going?
And this is the issue, too, is whenever you have a bunch of foreigners coming into the country that are driving fancy cars, scamming the government, like, there's also a really big component to this that if you let that happen, you're just going to, like, basically speed run racism. Whenever people see that, it's going to make them fucking furious, and they should be furious for it because it's ridiculous. Still zero arrests. Yeah, it creates resentment. Yeah, and animosity. It's outrageous. There's people here can't afford cars. People that have been citizens here since the family came over in the 1600s that can't afford a fucking car. And meanwhile, you have some family come over that's on welfare and a bunch of benefits, and they're driving around in an Escalade. Yeah, I think you have every right to be mad about that. That's in my opinion, that's a betrayal.
Funneled to other countries. We heard that from Joe Thompson today to Kenya. Someone even bought a semi-truck, expensive homes, international travel, you name it. That's where this money has gone. Yeah. But really just eye-popping to see those numbers today in that press conference, Will.
So just to be clear, Liz, okay, because I think this story is incredibly important. Unfortunately, though, it can also, the perpetrators exist in the realm of phantoms for many people watching. Like, who are the bad guys? Who are the criminals? And that's why we got to put names and faces to this as well. And even the money, $10 billion, it's hard to wrap your mind around $10 billion.
It's a lot of money.
And even when it's going to Kenya, but I just want to be clear about one detail. So you went to a lot of these businesses, the autism clinics, the food shelters, the food clinics, and they're empty. They're vacant, but you still have luxury vehicles out front of these vacant businesses in Minneapolis?
Absolutely, and I'll say more.
This is so fucking retarded. It's embarrassing.
Times than not, they are traced back to Somali names. You can see that all online, and we've been reporting on this for quite some time. It's 90% of those that have been charged now by the U.S. Attorney's Office are Somali. It was 4 of the 6.
90%. That's really bad.
today as well. But this really is out in the open. You can see it for yourself.
I think that the government knew this was happening, but they didn't want to go after it because it was being done by a minority group. I think that's what happened. I think it's actually that simple.
The nice cars, the nice homes, and amazing to see now that perhaps this is catching up with some of these folks. But again, these were just this week that we visited, and they're still
has
all
to be
open.
one. Yeah.
So it's hard to
Why
say
didn't
just
Doge
where
find
this dollar amount actually
state
does
versus federal.
stop.
That's incredible. It's truly incredible. Please keep us up to date, Liz. You're doing incredible reporting.
Yeah, I mean, this is just crazy. And then apparently there's like some, let me see if I can pull this up too. Where the hell did it go? Oh, yeah. It's been revealed that there are clan wars going on among Somalis in Minnesota. That's right, guys. Clash of Clans is here.
That can run for president in Somalia. The other two can only run for Speaker of Parliament. And the 0.5, the minorities.
Really?
Yeah, citizens of Somalia, minorities, they cannot run for office as we speak. And it's a formula. Name any elected Somali official, and they are all in the Darod clan.
Ilhan Omar, she's that clan?
Yes, she's the Darod.
Is Ilhan Omar advantaged in getting Somali votes in Minnesota because she is Daron Way? Did I say it right? Because she's one.
Clash of Clans is here in America. We have imported tribal blood feuds from Africa into our election process. Oh my God.
Because she's one of these two major clans.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly. Yep. Her clan predominantly lives in Minnesota and the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. That's a fact.
Okay.
And there are other clans.
That's her clan.
Yep.
Okay, hold on. Minnesota is largely this clan. Is Omar Fatah the guy that ran for mayor in Minneapolis? Would he also be of the same clan as Ilhan Omar?
Yep. Do you remember when Minneapolis had a mayoral election?
He's just here giving away the game, man.
This was a few weeks ago. Jacob Fry was running against Omar Fatah.
Yeah.
And the Somalis is split up between clan lines. Because anybody...
Oh my God. W snitch?
His clan was basically campaigning for him, for Omar. Mm-hmm. And the other Somalis who were not in the Darod clan were campaigning for Jacob Fry. And it was very evident on all social media. Yeah. It was
I guarantee Democrats know this.
That's Lawrence of Minnesota, man. He finessed the fucking shit out of them. He did. He's over there eating their food, speaking their language, and they're voting for him. This is our guy. Yeah, bro, he really did. He did what he needed to do. That's impressive.
I guarantee Jacob Fry was playing to the other Somali clans.
100%.
Definitely did.
He was. Oh my fucking God. And yeah, we saw Al Qaib. Yeah, exactly. And it's so fucking ridiculous, isn't it? And where's the rest of this? I don't know if there's any more of it here. Yeah, here we go.
There's some new explosive information in Minnesota's growing fraud scandal, this time involving assisted living programs. At a hearing this week, the Minnesota...
It's just everything. Everything was fraud. The whole thing was all fraud and fake.
Minnesota House Fraud
That's
Prevention
crazy.
Committee revealed that millions in taxpayer dollars may have been funneled into assisted living programs with little oversight. Lawmakers say one defendant already indicted in the Feeding Our Future fraud scheme.
Everything was computer and now it's all fraud?
Even after charges were filed. Lawmakers also slammed Governor Walz and his inspector general for the retaliation, they say, against state whistleblowers.
This fraud has been perpetuated on your watch, and the whistleblowers who reach out to us within the department are terrified, and they feel that they've been retaliated against already. They feel that they are...
So y'all remember whenever Tim Walz's own, like one of his own groups in Minnesota roached out on him, and they made like that big long Twitter thread about how he basically suppressed all this information and he wouldn't let anybody talk about this at all? Like, yeah, even he got his own side roaching out on him too.
Very afraid. They're afraid to reach out to us. And if they thought we were then turning around and giving it to you, we would not have whistleblowers.
The one thing that I'm freaking worried about is this freaking fraud that is happening over our state where there's 600...
This guy...
100,000 disability people in the state of Minnesota that could suffer. And sadly, it's quite interesting that we have Governor Walz speaking in front of the state and saying that this fraud is nothing beside. But my people are done suffering. We're done with this fraud. Our governor is not doing anything to help us.
I would vote for this guy just to listen to this all the time. This is great.
That sit here and decide he wants to blame Donald J., the president of the United States, who had nothing to do with this.
Yeah, exactly. No, he's right. You're right, man.
To hold our governor accountable, and I'm not seeing it.
Unfathomably fucking based. Wow.
Republican state lawmaker Kristen Robbins says she is turning over the new information to federal prosecutors as pressure continues to build on Governor Tim Walz to resign.
Absolutely fucking crazy. Almost VP of our people. I know, man. It's really crazy how close we came to that bullshit. And this is, I guess this is, we'll look at one more, then I want to move on and talk about something else.
Minnesota's fraud crisis is growing. Today, prosecutors charge more people for billing the state for social services they did not provide. The federal prosecutor says it's possible.
I don't care about that. I don't care about individual families that are scammers. I just don't give a shit about that. It doesn't matter. Like, it's not consequential. Like, the real problem is the people that are manifesting the scams and creating them. Those are the bad actors. Like, oh yeah, some family tried to scam $2,000 a month. Okay, who gives a fuck, right? I mean, it doesn't really make a big difference. I mean, yeah, of course you should go after people like that, but it's like a priority list. Like, go after the people that are making the scams.
Half or more of the $18 billion
get the big fish. Yeah, get the big fish.
Programs
Duh.
Since 2018
of course.
Is fraudulent. We have team coverage, starting with Jonah Kaplan with more on what we've learned about these latest charges. Jonah,
yes.
So we've gone from maybe $1 billion to possibly $9 billion or more?
Well, we've heard from the new U.S. Attorney, Frank, that we're not even at the end of the beginning of this investigation, and now we know why. Feeding our future was just the tip of the iceberg.
The fraud is not small. It isn't isolated. The magnitude cannot be overstated.
Prosecutors on Thursday indicting 6 people, including one already charged in another case. The 5 new defendants are all accused
should be 6,000.
Defrauding a state program meant to provide housing assistance to the disabled and
600.
those dealing with addiction. 2 people charged aren't even from here. According to officials, Anthony
No way!
Jefferson and Lester Brown came from Philadelphia to Minnesota looking for an opportunity to make money. They set up 2
They found one.
Fake
Smart
companies
guys.
and collected $3.5 million.
This is an instance of what's essentially fraud tourism. Mr. Jefferson and Brown were residents of Philadelphia who had no connection to Minnesota, except for they heard that Minnesota and its Housing Stabilization Services program was easy money.
The state already cut off the Housing Stabilization Program because of suspected fraud, but it's one of 14 social programs now under federal investigation. Together, they billed $18 billion since 2018. We asked how much could have been fraud.
You know, I don't make these generalizations in a hasty way.
You know.
So when I say a significant amount, I'm talking on the order of half or more, but we'll see.
One of the new indictments accuses a fraudster of exploiting a program to help children with autism. Court documents say Abdinajib Hassan Youssef used some of the $6 million
What the fuck?
bucks he stole to buy a Freightliner semi-truck.
What?
The the 6 autism. Court documents say Abdi Najib Hassan Youssef used some of the $6 million he stole to buy a Freightliner semi-truck.
That's scary. Oh, no.
Governor Walz in a statement said he applauds the new indictment, saying, quote, this is exactly.
And you can see how their state government is totally co-opted. And even inside of you shouldn't expect this prosecution to do anything that matters, because you saw that, like, I mean, these two guys, they're focusing on these two retards that came from Philadelphia, whenever apparently 90% of them were from Somalia. The reason why is that they're captured by identity politics and they don't want to call it for what it is. So you should expect to see basically nothing happen because of this. It's like people will have like little things like that happened will be very revealing to what everything else will be. It's like a canary in a coal mine. You see that happen, it's going to get worse.
The type of strong action we need from prosecutors to ensure fraudsters are put behind bars. Frank, this is not going away anytime soon.
It doesn't sound like it, for sure. Thanks, Jonah.
And some fines for fraud. Yeah, we'll see what happens, right? But I expect nothing to happen because that's always what happens. It's federal investigation, not state. If that's the case, then maybe we could see something happen, right? I don't know.